Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So as many of you guys know, I purchased a new car. And yes, it was a BMW. And many of you got to see what actual make it was, a model. But many of you wasn't aware of what engine was actually underneath. Some of you actually got it right and some of you got it completely wrong, which is no fault of your own. It's just you're not used to getting this model in where you live, or you just think, you know, it's not possible to actually have it. But a lot of people did clock. The people that are clocked are the ones that actually know what this is, based on, obviously, as many of you guys knew, the rev limiter, which is a telltale sign of what engine it is, because these engines only rev to that. There isn't, you can't have them rev any higher than that from factory. So therefore, everyone would have got it right regardless. So obviously I'm not going to show you the make, model, everything like that. You can go and look at the previous video to see all around the car. Obviously today we're going to focus on the engine. I'll show you what engine it is underneath. And then what we'll do is go on to another video and telling you about what's actually wrong with this car, because obviously there is a lot wrong with it and there is a big concern with this car, and that's why I got it cheap. I don't think the guy actually knew what was actually wrong with it either, that actually sold it, and that's why he actually sold it off, because obviously I think he's took it to many garages and they haven't been able to sort it. But this is where I come in and I will sort it. And obviously once done, this is I would say probably around $6.5 grand car once it's fully done. I'm quite lucky. The car hasn't been sitting outside, it's been sitting outside in my carport. So since I've had that built, all the cars sit out there. So you probably see, when you see the car, it's actually still gleaming and shining, even though it don't sit in my shop. But yes, it does need a lot doing to it. And the major thing being with it is a big issue. And I'm sure many of you guys with this engine probably having this issue as well. So that's why I'm gonna go thoroughly diagnosing it till we can actually find the issue. But there is a savior on this engine. This is one thing I adore about these engines. This is why I've always said they're legendary, because it's one thing BMW never removed from them like they did on a lot of other cars out there that's in this car. So let's get onto it and I'm gonna show you what engine it actually is. There's no hiding it now. Let's show you the engine that's underneath this car. So here we go guys, and now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is lift up the bonnet so you guys get to see what engine's actually sitting underneath. Now do bear in mind, there's gonna be a lot of people that are upset. There's gonna be a lot of people that are happy for me bringing this back to this channel, and obviously this car is mine. I did purchase it, so it is here to stay. Many of you are gonna question why I bought one of these, why I need one of these. The fact is, I didn't. I purchased it purely because one, I can make money on it. Two, it's gonna be very practical for what I need, because I need one of these cars. So let's reveal to you the engine that's sitting underneath, and I'll explain to you my reasons why I actually went and bought one. So here you go guys. This is the legendary M57 engine, and this one is the later M57N engine, because as many of you guys know, the EGI is electronic on these, and it's not vacuum operated. It's completely different. Been revised a bit compared to the old M57 engine. This one is all electronic, and there's a lot we are going to do on this car. There is a lot wrong with it. Everything is not as it seems under this bonnet. Believe me on that, guys. Like I say, it's got one big major issue and it needs to be addressed because it's just simply not drivable. Now, I don't know if it is a common problem, or it could be a garage that the guy took it to, done it completely wrong. It could be many things, but I'm not going to speculate. Obviously, we need to tear it down and find the issue with this car. But obviously, I know this engine like the back of my hand. Many of you guys will be happy to see this engine. Many of you are going to be questioning why I purchased this car. Well, let's face the facts, guys. I didn't need to purchase it. As many of you guys know, I've got all my Porsches, so I've got my performance cars. I bought this because it's come to a time in my life now. I don't need to be, as many of you guys know, arrogant, stuck up. I've got my cars for performance and fun factor, you know, track use, whatever I want to use them for, you know, my thrills. This is going to probably be my daily, purely because of it being a touring. I purchased this purely based on that factor, because of the boot space, my dogs, everything I need to put in there. You know, it comes in very practical. I can't put my dogs in a Porsche. I can't put my dogs in my other E60. That is why I needed a touring, especially for that reason, because this one's got the built-in dog guard, which is perfect for what I need it for. This engine, like I say, I've always adored it. Many of you guys know that when it comes to the M57 engine, I love this engine. I love this unit. Very reliable, very solid. You guys know, as I said, it's only on 113,000 miles. Finding one with that mileage on is very, very rare, especially here in the UK. Many of you guys will already know that. It is extremely, extremely rare to find it with that mileage at all. And when they do come up, they don't come up for the price I bought it for. Many of these will come up with a lot more mileage for wanting more money for them. I got this very, very cheap. And obviously, I wanted it on low mileage. It hasn't been messed with. It hasn't been remapped. Nothing's been blanked. Nothing at all. As I said, it was owned by a doctor for nearly 12 years. And it has been looked after, but it's got an issue. And I think that's due to someone doing something wrong on this car at a point in this life, which I need to get into and sort it all out. But yes, guys, I have purchased this car because I wanted it. Obviously, many of you guys know I've still got my M52. I wasn't going to buy another M52 and another M52. It was unfair to a lot of you guys. I wanted to bring a mix to this channel. Like I said, I needed to add variety to this channel, and this engine's going to do that. You know, many of you guys subscribe for this. I haven't done it for a long time. The one I did have was my X5. It was an older one. This one's going to apply a lot more to you guys with the E60 and E90s than the X5 did, because it wasn't really relatable. This engine is going to, and for this car as well. So the car will apply, and so will the engine to many of you guys with your E70s, your E60s, E61s, E90s, no matter what you got, this engine's going to apply. And this is not a 535 diesel, guys. This is the normal 530D, not the 535D. I purchased it purely based on the mileage. That's why I bought it. I wanted one of these. I was looking. You guys know I don't need one. I purchased it purely, like I said, to add variety to this channel and to give you guys what you wanted as well, because I knew you guys had been helping me, that you wanted me to get a diesel. Many of you don't have a petrol, but now here it is. I've now got a diesel for the channel, and what I'll do is I'll run through everything wrong with this car in another video. But today I'm going to leave it there. You guys get to see now it is an M57 engine. I hope many of you guys are happy with it. Even the ones that ain't, there's nothing I can do really. Like I said, I've already got the M52. That's running absolutely beautifully since I've done everything. I don't plan on doing anything to that car as of yet. It doesn't need anything, but this one does, and there is a lot to get on with this car. And guess what, guys? Because the 911's on the lift, I am going to be working on the ground with this car. We are going to be jacking it up. I'm going to have to get underneath, you know, do the oil, do what I need to underneath of this car, because my lift space is actually taken up at the moment with that 911 until I get that engine back in, which is now sitting there ready to go back in. Like I said, I'm just waiting for an engine crane. But apart from that, this is what we're going to be focused on, and I'm going to be working like you guys do, exactly at home. So as you've seen there, guys, I did purchase an M57N engine, and like I said, it ain't the 535 diesel. This is the 530 diesel, and yes, it does have the ZF 6 HP 28 gearbox, which I love with the, as I call it, the Cobra shifter. It's the new LCI shifter. Obviously, that needs to be serviced as well. It's over 100K. I haven't got no proof of it ever being serviced. It does have full history with it that the guy gave me, but as many of you guys know, full history doesn't mean nothing. What is written on paper and what the car's actually had means nothing, because yes, it's got all them stamps, but I don't see any papers with the car. I have to use my own knowledge on this and just do what I need to do with this car, because at the end of the day, the gearbox is a weak point on these if not properly maintained, especially on the diesels, and so is the engine if not properly maintained either. Obviously, they can only sustain so much. You know, many people do abuse them, do take them to the limits, you know, and just hope they're going to run forever because it's what they hear online, but they only run forever if correctly maintained and looked after, which this one has been, but it also hasn't been. Obviously, beginning of its life, it would have been, but later on in life, I don't know. It was owned by a doctor for 12 years. It's only had 3 owners, but I don't know the history completely. You know, I don't know what other people have done. And that's why I have to use my own, you know, my own eyes to see what I need to replace and what needs doing. I already ordered a load of parts ready to do on this car. You guys are going to enjoy it because there's a lot I need to get on with. I want to make this car solid and reliable so I can just drive it. Like I said, many of you guys I know ain't going to really appeal to me, even if you do have it, because many of you guys know it's not my only car. I know for many of you guys it is your only car, but this is going to be my daily. This is what I'm going to use. Obviously, my Porsches are to sit in my shop, look pretty, and just use when I want to use them. Obviously, you know, like I say, my Boxsters, my 911s, I plan to do a massive trip to France in them. You know, that's going to be later on. Obviously, it's not going to be in the 530D, but this is for me to use for my dogs, for me to do what I need to do on a daily basis. I don't drive much, but when I need to, this will be the car I actually use. Many of you guys also speculated on the wheels on this. I know the wheels are horrible, not my personal choice. That's something I am going to look to change, because I want the originals or what would have come on this car, which are correct. It would have been the Spider alloys, whoever actually commented that on the last video. Spider alloys is something I am looking for and I am going to be putting them back on. They are not my preferred choice of wheels. That is someone else's, obviously. They put them on thinking they look nice to me. I like the car bog standard, so Spider alloys will be going back on this car. But yes, guys, this is a 530D. I hope many of you guys have enjoyed the video, and it does have the M57 engine. And like I said, I'm going to try and stay to this car now. Obviously, I want to add variety, as I said, and also I want to try and get you guys to engage more with the videos as well, because I know a lot of you guys do have this car, and obviously this one's here to stay. It isn't something I plan on selling. I didn't think I'd get another one. It was just too good to resist, bearing in mind the mileage, so I had to have it and how clean it was. That's the reason I actually purchased it. I'm glad I did, because I needed a touring. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.